my experience with Marvel Studios Iron Man 3, or for example, how a lot of people call it, you know, Iron Man 3, just Iron Man 3, because there isn't like no other Iron Man trilogy movie live action thing out there for a lot of people to go for. So my experience with Iron Man 3, I know it's been a little bit since I've done a Marvel video, but here we are again. Jarvis, watch the suit. Okay, Tony Stark. Yeah, just ignore the fit. Don't even worry about it. Let me just share the video and we can get it on. All right. So this is gonna be for those people that just wanna watch me talk about Iron Man 3. What are my thoughts on Iron Man 3? And is it just me, or does anybody remember Tobuscus' literal trailer on Iron Man 3? Because I remember watching Tobuscus' literal trailer on Iron Man 3, and every single time I watched that Tobuscus video, it literally made me want to watch the goddamn flick. I don't know why, but it just did. Anyways, so let me give you a background on Iron Man 3 before we get into this. By the way, Lucas, welcome to stream. Anyways, let's just talk about this, right? So before me and Nick decided to go into Iron Man 3, I remember I was talking to Nick and I was saying a lot that I have heard that Iron Man 3, out of all the Iron Man movies, is the most not mid movie, but it was like the Iron Man movie that was okay. It was an okay film, because keep this in mind, whenever movies get sequels after sequels of each other, they tend to either get better or worse than the previous set of movies. And usually, in my case, whenever I interact with the third something of something, Crash Bandicoot 3 ended up being worse than Crash Bandicoot 2 in this case. You know, just for an example, right? But then there's also an example of something better than being better than the second one. Super Mario Bros. 3 being better than Super Mario Bros. 2 USA. I mean, what can I say? It goes hand in hand. It's like a 50-50 if the third one's going to be better than the second one, or if the second one's going to be better than the third. That's what I thought about Iron Man 3. And I remember, Nick was telling me, I think when we were watching this flick, he was like, no, I don't remember Iron Man 3 being really that bad. Like that bad that it was so bad to the point that nobody liked this flick. And then I remember, I was also like, having that conversation with Nick, but I also decided to do some research into the movie, and I saw a lot of old reviews of Iron Man 3. A lot of people were saying 7 out of 10. Meanwhile, I think they put for the first one like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 for the first one, and then the second one was kind of received the same as the first. And, the first movie, and keep those in mind, those reviews were made back when the movie first came out. It was the newest shit. So it isn't like 2025, like, reviewer like myself coming in, watching these movies, like, weeks later, or reviewing them months later after each other or something. So it's kind of like a lot of those reviews are based off of when they first watched it back in 2000 fucking something when it came out. So this is somebody's perspective that hasn't watched Iron Man 3 all that much before, and didn't get, like, all that much time to watch Iron Man 3, because I'm not going to lie, I think I told Nick, I don't think I've ever seen Iron Man 3 before, or at least I don't remember Iron Man 3 nowhere near as much as Iron Man 1 or 2. And Nick was like, oh, you're about to have a field day with this one. And I think that also happened with the next movie, Captain America Winter Soldier, because I told Nick that shit, I think, over there, and I mistaked it for here. One thing I really liked from Iron Man 3 was Mark 42 armor. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But anyway, so the movie starts out with Tony monologuing on how his suit's getting destroyed for a little bit. So not only just his suit's getting destroyed, but, like, we also, like, just see the suits getting destroyed, and he's monologuing why they're getting destroyed. And I'm sitting there, I remember watching that, I'm like, why are you destroying all those suits? You spent hours making those probably, to protect yourself, because keep this in mind, Tony's mindset back then in Iron Man 1 and 2 and Avengers, yeah, Winter Soldier was awesome, straight hand. Dude, Nick, don't talk to me about that movie, bro. Dude, I'm gonna say this. I remember Nick calling me out so fucking bad because Nick called me out during Winter Soldier. I'm gonna mention this here because if I don't mention over there, I'm gonna mention it here. During the Winter Soldier movie, like I was like, right, and Nick's like, I can see that you're really into this movie. And I'm like, fuck yeah, it's literally them as like bodies getting thrown or fucking whatever's on the screen. I'm just fucking interested. That movie is beyond peak. Winter Soldier is really good. I didn't think I would be like, damn, on that one. But anyways, back to what I was saying, right? About, Tony monologuing. His mindset during those movies, Iron Man 1, 2, and Avengers, was, I want to create a suit of armor for the entire world. So everyone can be protected from threats that might kill them instantaneously. For example, Thanos' army, or Loki, or maybe a possessed Thor, or maybe a possessed Hulk. It's like, I want that for the world. So none of this shit happens. Or, for example, if the suits malfunction or whatever, or something. That was his mindset. But anyways, I had no context to that. So when watching this moment, it was just kind of confusing seeing if suits blow up. And then point number 2 I want to go into, before the movie, we go a little bit in the movie, like, as a flashback, but we go all the way back before the events of Iron Man 1. And basically, this bit of the movie is Tony getting into some shit so we can set up Iron Man 3, basically. And I remember when Iron Man 3 kind of went back to how Iron Man 1 approached things, it was kind of weird for me, because when we watched Iron Man 2, Iron Man 2 never really did the whole, we're going to go back fucking years upon years in the past, and then go, or months in the past, or whatever, or moments in the past, or whatever. We're not going to jump like to the beginning, we're in the present, and then jump backward to before that point in the movie, right? That's what Iron Man 1 liked to do, and then we're back into the present for like the rest of it, right? I didn't like that approach with Iron Man 1 all that much. I understood why they did it that way, but I didn't like that approach. I kind of liked how Iron Man 2 approached things, where it is the beginning of the movie is the beginning of the movie. There's no past incidents. There's no something flashbacky too much too far in the future or whatever in the present, other than maybe like sometime with Whiplash or whatever. But even then, you guys know, if you guys watch my Iron Man 2 review, Iron Man 1 plus 2 review, you would know that, like, and obviously a lot of that video is cut out, I know, but, had to do it for copyright. But y'all know, like, how I felt about that in that movie. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So, getting that Iron Man 1 type style flashback scene was a little bit weird for me. Tony having his suit parts come to him is cool, though it isn't perfect. Actually, let's do the movies tomorrow. That way I can do the review of Winter Soldier with you before the movie, since I have all day. You have all day tomorrow? That's right, you did mention you have all day tomorrow. And, yeah, I could do the review with, let me see. Yeah, the review right here. Oh, wait, whoops. No, it's right here. Yeah, right. This page and then this entire page of Winter Soldier. So, yeah. Yeah, that's something I can do. But just seeing Tony, like, basically finally build himself away. Because if you guys remember, this is one thing I love about Tony in the Iron Man movies, is that whenever he makes a mistake, or whenever a situation happens to him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he tries his best to avoid that shit happening again. Like, for example, when Whiplash came up and basically met up with Tony and nearly killed him, Tony decided to make a instance where instead of having a suitcase be a suit, he is also basically, he latches the shit on, right? He basically decided to create a counter mechanism where basically he calls the suit to him. piece by piece so it can latch onto his face and his body so he can suit up that way too. Not only just needing a suitcase to suit up and whatever, which I honestly thought it was cool, even though it was in the testing phases. I thought that was a really cool thing Iron Man wanted to do. 4, the Mandarin bombing. Basically, the main villain of this movie is the Mandarin. And the Mandarin basically is a dude that basically murks people. Basically, he is a killer that hijacked the U.S. satellite system and basically is going to fuck the world. He's basically evil as shit. That's basically him. And basically, he bombs and hijacks the U.S. satellite, which I thought was scary. You know, I thought that was a little bit much. Off topic, have you seen videos of people testing viruses that can actually destroy your PC on virtual machines? No, I have not. I have not seen any of that. I didn't even know that existed. 5, Iron Man suffering an anxiety attack was sad to watch. So, in this scene, in moment number 5, American version of Mutant Doctor from Deadpool, you know. Oh my god. Stop. People blasting shit in the middle of my fucking review, man. I hate that shit. Wish we can move away from shit like that. I would love to do my reviews in peace. Or just in peace, just in like in a room. If I had everything I ever wanted in a room, and then just nobody around, that would be cool. Iron Man suffering from an anxiety attack, the first one, right? It was basically Iron Man and Rhodey. See you tomorrow, mate. Love you, man. Hey, love you too, Nick, and I'll see you tomorrow, man. Basically, Iron Man and Rhodey, they were talking, if I remember, in a restaurant, and Iron Man, you know, signed some shit for some kids, and basically, after that, bro was like, you know, kind of suffering. Like, for some reason, something triggered something in him that would have him go through an anxiety / a panic attack. And just seeing that from Tony through, not just in this bit, but throughout the entire movie, because of the events of Avengers, because of the events of Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, it really left an impact on me, because I kind of felt that a little bit. Because after everything, you know, I went through, right? I don't get, like, severe anxiety attacks, but sometimes it does get hard for me to breathe in some cases or some scenarios. Like, if I get fucking super riled up or something, or super pissed off about something, or said things, like, for example, we'll use the Luigi's Mansion 2 video. Like, it felt like I couldn't even breathe for longer than 5 minutes when making that video. Like, because I was so damn angry, right? And it's like, sometimes I get so angry it feels like I'm going to pass out, or sometimes I get so mad nowadays that I can't even handle my own anger, and that leads to me feeling some type of shit afterwards, like maybe heart racing, or maybe some type of wave of anxiety, like something just happens to me, and I felt that. And I felt that with, like, Tony and everything. Anyways. So Killiam is basically, if you think of the hammer dude from Iron Man 2, Killiam, he's kind of reminds me of him, like a brother or something, but Killiam, the main villain of the movie, the Mandarin of the movie, but we don't know that yet by this point, but he is the Mandarin. But it being all over Pepper about talking about his own brain, talking about, like, him and what his inventions were. I remember being, like, creeped out by that, and I love how this scene kind of shows you, in a way, how creepy guys can really be when they talk about themselves so fucking much, and it gives me a perspective of how maybe some ladies feel like when guys, like, talk about themselves 24/7, or talk about what they want to do in a way that is, like, menacing, but at the same time it's like, I don't know, nerve-wracking. Because I remember during that entire scene, I was like, Pepper, you got him, man. It's fucking Tony Stark, okay? the smartest man in the MCU, even though if they introduced my boy Mr. Fantastic, which he's way smarter than Tony, but we won't talk about that outside of this, but you get my point. And I'm sitting there like, girl, what are you doing? Don't let Killian talk you into his plans or whatever during this point of the movie. And I did not like Killian as a character. He just gave me that. I don't know what's up with Iron Man villains, but like Iron Man villains in general, they just make me not like them, man. Like as characters, like even as villains, I'm just like, you as a villain, ooh, I don't like you. Like I always get that type of vibe from him. Iron Man talking to Pepper about his problems just for his suit to attack Pepper. So basically, in a scene before this, I wrote down, basically Iron Man was talking to Pepper, aka Tony was talking to Pepper about how he cannot sleep at night because of everything. Like I mentioned, he gets not only anxiety attacks, but they keep him up at night. Because if he goes to sleep, right, he's immediately thinking of the bad moments that he had during Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2, or like I said, when he had to take that missile that was going to blow up all of New York all the way up to Thanos' army saying, fuck with us and find out and look what happens and shit. He can't sleep at night because of all that stuff. And I remember, I think Pepper walked out on him, like, just saying, yeah, you didn't even spend time with the whole thing, or whatever. And, or Pepper understood him at that time, and they tried to go to sleep together. And because of Tony's nightmares, the suit activated and saw Pepper as a threat and tried to attack her. And I kind of felt bad. It made Iron Man kind of just, like, destroy the suit immediately. And as he woke up, Pepper was just so done. She's sleeping on the couch. I remember that moment. It was sad. But then the scene before that, when Tony, like, just full out just was completely honest, was completely real, no jokes, just said all that shit to her beforehand, and then after they try to go to sleep together, it's like Iron Man's suit's, it's affecting him on a mental level that his suit's thinking he's in danger, and it's like, that is crazy that activated through PTSD and stuff, and trust me, I know what PTSD is like too. I've gotten through a little bit of that myself, but it's just seeing that. Now it's like, and I'm sitting here, like, at this point, I'm thinking, before we talk about the eighth thing I have on my notes here, I'm sitting here thinking, people thought Iron Man 3 was bad. I mean, this movie is not only talking about the villains of the movie and getting that shit situated, but it's also showing us a side of Tony that we didn't get to see in Avengers, that we didn't get to see in Iron Man 1 and 2, like, other than his downtime, like him being stressed out more or having these anxiety attacks more than ever before because of this certain circumstance and whatever. And it's crazy. We never got to see this side of Iron Man before, and now this movie is showing us. I'm like, how is this shit worse than Iron Man 2? To be real. Anyways. So, number 8, basically, and I didn't mention this, but before this point, I remember this now, one of Killian's men, these heat people, these people apparently are superhuman, but if they get too angry or if they express too much of an anger, they basically explode. Like, they're basically exploding humans, right? But they don't explode immediately. But, you know, the angrier they are, the hotter they get, and the more difficult they become to fight. And I remember Happy realized something was up before anyone else in the movie, by the way, and tried to either get away or even tried to fight one of these hot people, and, you know, Happy barely ended up living after that experience and was comatose for the rest of this entire flick. And Iron Man caught word of this and basically said, fuck that shit, Mandarin, here's my address. If you're a real man instead of a pussy, you would come over and let's scrap and let's end this, right? And that was easily one of the biggest mistakes in Tony's entire fucking career, because holy shit, right? So the Mandarin's homies pull up on Tony, catch me outside, and it's a fucking battle. Because the Mandarin comes over to Tony's location. I'm talking, they shooting full-on fucking missiles at Tony's house. At basically not only Tony's house, but also shooting down Tony and Pepper. You know, Iron Man made a suit to protect Pepper at all costs because that's his girl. Of course, every man's gonna protect their girl, right? So basically, Tony's whole house, his whole landscape of his house got exploded. And basically, after that, Tony went underwater, and it was a whole thing, and it was a fucking battle. Like, Iron Man stopping tanks with just his precision and his movement and all that other sort of shit. It was crazy. And I don't know why Iron Man said, pull up, little bro, you're about to get beat like a little bro. But, that shit was wild. That battle, I remember I was freaking out about that one. It was crazy what happened. I can't show clips because of, copyright. So for anyone wondering why this review is just me talking about it, it's because of copyright, alright? I can't do much more than what I'm explaining right now. I can explain it to you, but I can't really show footage of it without copyright, you know? Number 10, Jarvis coming in clutch for getting Tony out of the water because this battle was so bad that the house debris was falling in water and shit, and even Iron Man was getting caught up in the debris and shit, and Pepper made out safely with that other chick, but, basically, that other chick is the whole reason these fire people or heat people even exist. And Tony wanted to burn that project to the ground because it, you know, wasn't going to go anywhere. And Tony already knew the outcome 20 steps ahead than somebody else, you know, that is almost as smart as Tony or even smarter than Tony. Anyways, whatever, right? Basically, you know, Tony got hit underground, under the rubble, underwater, just fucking bloop, 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 shit. And basically, Jarvis getting him out of there just barely was such G shit on Jarvis's part. Tony getting stranded and needed help by this orphan kid or by this little kid that took Tony to his place. And basically, the orphan kid was giving his entire backstory. Even though he's not an orphan, we find that out. The kid was basically, like, trying to talk to Iron Man a lot of times. And Tony was like, okay, in exchange for information or whatever, you know, can you help me get back to 100%, like get back on my feet so we can kind of disperse, you know, the whole situation I got going on back at home. And basically the world by this point thinks Tony's dead because after Iron Man told the Mandarin his address and the Mandarin just fucking blew up all his shit, you know, fuck it, you know, and after Tony got stranded, it's like, yep, the fucker's dead, but, you know, later on, you know, Tony kind of revealed himself to Pepper that he's not dead, and it's a whole thing I got going on, but that's a whole thing, right? And after Tony and that kid got along, the kid, after a while, you know, explained to Tony what the hell is going on in his little hometown he got going on, and that was a whole bit of the movie, and, you know, there was shit in between that happened, like Tony getting another anxiety attack because of even mentioning the idea of New York will give Tony a panic attack. That was a whole thing, and I felt bad again for that. And just seeing, like, I don't know, just seeing Tony, like, have these heart attacks and seeing how it can be caused or even triggered, I felt that, you know, all that shit. But anyways, later on in the movie, Tony's running away from fighting, you know, from the Heat people, because the Heat people came after him. They found him and shit, and Tony's trying his best to fight him without the Iron Man suit, using his wit and navigating and moving around and all that other sort of shit. Whatever. That happens. The Mandarin making a statement by shooting the U.S. government's agent live on TV in front of millions of people was really fucked up. I remember when the Mandarin did that, I was like, holy fuck, this guy is no joke. He is crazy. We need to stop this dude, man. Number 14, Tony and War Machine having a funny moment. Like, Rhodey basically was, I can't remember. No, Rhodey was basically going up against these terrorists. And basically, Iron Man kind of calls him mid interrogation of the terrorist, and basically said, Rhodey, what the fuck's your password? And Rhodey was like, my password is this. Tony, he didn't question he's alive, but he just said, Tony, what the fuck, man? And Tony's like, hey, I gotta get this done. I gotta stop this guy. So I need your password for the suit or whatever, or access codes or something. It was a whole thing in that, and they had a funny ass moment. I remember laughing at it. It was kind of funny. Rhodey getting captured, and the kid, I can't remember Rhodey getting captured. Oh yeah, that's right. No, basically while Rhodey was helping other kids in a different area, I think, or the same area. It's just a little bit later. Rhodey gets captured by the heated people, and just seeing the kid helping Tony by telling him to help him build the suit, I thought was pretty cool. 16, Tony being James Bond, full of gadgets just for him to get knocked out later on and moved into the actual Mandarin base and captured by the Mandarin's men and all that shit. That was a whole thing. Killian shooting Maya because he could really sucked. I remember, basically, Tony, like, while Killian was explaining to him his whole plan and everything, Tony had to watch Pepper suffer a little bit, and also Maya tried to threaten herself, saying, you need me for this project, therefore I'll take myself out if you don't just let Tony go, because she was with Killian for a long time for most of this movie. But then, she kind of obviously had a good heart and tried to be with Tony, tried to basically help Tony out and shit. And basically Killian's like, pretty much I got all I needed. And just popped her right then and there. And I remember feeling bad for Maya because I was like, fuck, I kind of wish she lived to the end of this movie. But, she didn't, and that shit kind of made me sad, low-key. And Iron Man just witnessing, a.k.a. Tony, witnessing another death of someone kind of close to him, or just someone close to him getting hurt, or even death, it just really fucked with him a little bit. It even kind of got me, I was like, god damn, a little bit. But anyways, let me move on. Tony finding bad guys while suiting up was also pretty cool. So basically he got out of the little chains that he was in after Maya died and after Killian left for a little bit, and basically Tony just saying, you guys are ass getting kicked. Kicked right now. Your ass is gonna get beat. And the dudes are sitting there like, what are you doing? Are you a fucking idiot? And then Iron Man's fucking suit piece come back, knocked one of the dudes in the head. And then, Tony tried to shoot other dude while spinning, and then the suit piece were trying to come to him slowly, and then while the suit was coming to him slowly, like I mentioned earlier, why that was cool, Tony tried using a regular gun. He didn't like using it after a while, but he used it until he ran out of bullets. And then he got his another hand shit back, or a leg piece back. And then he was trying to, shoot with the leg piece, fly with the other arm piece. And he was wondering, yo, kid, where the fuck is the rest of my suit? And the kid was like, oh, fuck, it's in the garage. And basically he hit the lock with the lock with something. And basically the rest of the suit went after him. And then basically after a while, I made it to Tony in time. Just... And he got the suit up. And I thought it was fucking cool. I thought the moment was really cool. Anyways, 19, one of the heated ones used the iron pirate suit to body fucking folks. I remember basically later on in the movie, after Tony got out, obviously, but before Tony could do anything and catch up with Rhodey, I remember basically one of the heated ones said, you're going to wear the Iron Patriot. That's what they called it in this movie. Not War Machine, but it was the name Iron Patriot because it represents America and it's an Iron Man suit. You get it, right? It's still War Machine. Yo, what's good? Toji Fujiro. I'm talking about him at first. Hey.
I'm going to run.
All right. Gotcha.
Did she eat lunch?
Yeah, I fed her. Yeah. How far are we in? We're talking about the bit. Oh, we're talking about the bit right now because I can't show clips because, copyright exists. I'm basically talking about the bit where one of the heated dudes from Killian Squad basically took the Iron Patriot, went in a U.S. plane, and just started bodying the shit out of everybody in there. And I remember watching that bit, and I was sitting there like, holy fuck. Because keep in mind, the heated people, the heated folks, the hot people and shit, they're already superhuman without the suit. So, one of them getting into the Iron Patriot, just to get like a little bit buff to your strength and shit to their already foreseen super strength is kind of crazy. And that dude was like getting used to the Iron Man suit pretty fucking quickly. He bodied like everybody in that fucking room with relative ease. It was crazy how easily he was able to body them. I think they still, because I think the heated people still feel pain from like gunshots and wounds. But, like, they don't, like, they can't just die from it unless their heads exploded or something. But even then, that would cause, like, a massive explosion or something. I think, to my knowledge, that's how it worked. I could be wrong. But that happened, and after the plane went out, and I think the Iron Patriot flew away or something like that, Iron Man came in, saving 13 people from the plane was really cool. And basically, as Iron Man was saving all the people from the plane, he was telling others to latch on to him, and it was actually such a cool scene to like actually watch, like Iron Man coming through mid-flight, seeing all those people fall out of the plane, literally everybody and their fucking mama is literally sitting there wondering what the fuck is up, right? And it's a whole thing, and I love that moment. I love it a lot. I didn't think I would love it a lot when I first saw it, but I love it a lot. All those people falling. Tony's like, bro, gotta get them bitches right there, and they're all latching onto each other. And it was so cool. Such a cool scene. I know. I'm going over it. My bad. 22. Seeing the... Oh, fuck. Oh, wait. 21. Oh, that's weird. I wrote 21 down here instead. What's your favorite MCU movie? What MCU movie is your favorite? That's tough because I currently watched up to Captain America Winter Soldier right now. I haven't seen Guardians 1 or 2 in a long time, so I'm gonna not throw those out there, but when I finish with all the movies, I'm gonna make a tier list based off of all of the MCU movies. And I'm gonna grab Nick and we're just gonna make that tier list and put them all in tiers, which ones were the best, which ones were the worst. And all that other sort of shit. But, you know, for right now, I think it might be Winter Soldier. Might be Captain America Winter Soldier, but I could be very, that could change, you know, depending, because there's a lot of movies we got left. We still haven't seen, right now, me and Nick still haven't seen the Guardians 1 and 2, and then we got Age of Ultron, and then we got, like, a lot of other shit after that, so it's about to be It's about to be nutty. Anyways, I get distracted really easily, so I'm not trying to do things. We'll try to close the door. Tony and Rhodey running like, oh, this is hilarious. I love this bit of the movie of Iron Man 3. Tony and Rhodey running like army men, because Rhodey is running like a proper like U.S. soldier, and you got Tony over here, rich boy, playboy, philanthropist, kind of like running goofily, because keep in mind, Iron Man, whenever he fights, you know, he makes sure he gets the suit on, and, you know, he fights really well when he's in the suit, but when he's outside of that, using, like, a regular gun or whatever, when he was way less experienced, it's just, like, looking at an average man trying to get into the action of, like, you know, having to go to places really sneakily and try to sneak by. It was just kind of funny watching Tony just look so out of place, like, just by walking with the man. It's just kind of funny. 22, seeing the Iron Squadron, basically because Iron Man and Rhodey got into some shit. Basically, like, oh fuck, we gotta fight a bunch of heated people now, and because we got caught trying to do some shit, and we're fucked because trying to fight a heated person hand to hand while you're not a heated person, while you're not a fucking Hulk, while you're not a fucking Thor, while you're not, you know, some super dude, okay? Even Iron Man in the suit is going to struggle with one of these guys. And it's like, excuse me, these guys are way out of our league. We need to get going. So seeing the Iron Man Squadron, basically Jarvis controlling, I can't remember how many, like, the numbers of suits, but it was basically so many different suits being remote controlled all at once right here. And just taking out so many heated people, like not like instantly, but like with a little bit of effort, like them, colliding in walls or them just scrapping until one of them's beaten. Like, heated people were blowing up Iron Mans were blowing up heated people, and it was just a fight all around. I thought it was crazy seeing the Iron Squadron just do all that work. Rhodey saving the president, because basically the heated people and Killian were basically going to kill the president live on TV. And if it wasn't for, like, Rhodey, like, basically, and Iron Man going over there, they probably would not have saved the president. Or, I think, yeah, it was the president. Basically chained up like he was about to be fucking on a cross. Like, he's about to die like how Jesus did. Which I thought was fucked up. Having the president up like that. But after Rhodey saving the president, he's like, President, we're going to get you out of here. I promise. But, Iron Man, think you can get me back in one of those suits? Because I want to kick ass in that suit. It's way better than just being on the ground shooting an AK or a pistol. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in an Iron Man suit again? 24, Tony versus Killiam or whatever his name was, the main villain, aka the Mandarin, was freaking awesome because you got Iron Man pissed off that Pepper's hurt in the first place against him, and he kind of ruined aka Tony's day and shit. But also Killiam also getting some good licks, and they were basically getting some good hits on each other, like, for a long fucking time, until Iron Man couldn't, like, kind of beat him. Killiam kind of had the edge still in, like, raw power and ability and shit, so Iron Man was slowly losing that fight, or pretty much lost that fight. But it was still a fun fight to watch, and Pepper, apparently, she also was experimented on while getting tortured. Apparently, she was also getting the powers of the heated people within her. Oh, and also, while this movie happened, the reason why Tony even fought Killian in the first place is because Pepper, quote-unquote, died by a massive explosion. And Tony was pissed. That's why that fight even happened in the first place. So keep that one in mind, folks. Right? By the way, welcome back, Toji. Anyways, Pepper coming in, finishing off Killian, and to close the flick out. Like, basically, she fucking murks him. Like, I might have to put it on just to show y'all, like, hold on, let me find it. Pepper versus Killian, Iron Man 3. Yeah, basically Pepper versus Killian. I am the Mandarin. Yeah, like, basically, this shit was crazy. I'm gonna only show a little bit of it. I don't want to show too much of the fight. But basically, she gets so pissed off because, keep in mind, these heat powers are also based off of emotion. So, seeing this, right, she's pissed. Tony's like, God damn, you're crazy. How did you do that? And then the Iron Man suit sees her as a threat. And Iron Man's like, hey, yo, chill. And you see Pepper, look what she does here.
What? Oh, were you mad at me?
She does that to the Iron Man suit, bashed it, destroyed it in one hit. She goes over, hits that fucking dude, kicks that, explodes him in one shit. That's the only scene I'm showing y'all because copyright's a bitch. And that was like a minute of clipping at best. YouTube's gonna get me in trouble for that one. This video might get blocked worldwide again because I decided to show one clip. And that's what sucks. That's what sucks about reviewing these movies, is because I feel like some of the coolest bits gets, I mean, obviously I could try and ask Marvel for, hey, can I use this clip? But no, shit like that doesn't work like that. It's a multi-million-dollar company, and I'm just a normal man that makes reviews off his tablet, okay? So, of course, they ain't gonna listen to someone like me. But anyways, seeing her destroy Killian like that was one of the wildest things this movie had to offer, okay? Because I was not expecting Pepper to do something like that. Like that, alright? I wasn't expecting Pepper to do any of that. And keep in mind, she just got those powers. Like a couple hours back. It's just that, again, her emotions were out of control. And that is fair, to be honest. Everything she went through in that movie, that's fair. Okay? That is very fucking fair. Anyways, I digress. Let's continue reviewing the movie, right? So I thought that bit was absolutely insanity. I thought it was crazy. You know, all that shit was nuts, right? And after Iron Man basically and Pepper had their moment, he was like, okay, Pepper, you know what? You win. I'm done. I'm done creating these suits. I'm done. And basically, we get a fast forward because after that event, you know, you see Pepper like kind of fucking scared and shrug up, and it makes sense after everything she went through today. Iron Man personally paid for Pepper's surgery to get rid of that explosive shit in her body, so she's basically back to being a regular human again. And I thought that was so cool that Tony just personally paid for that, because of course he would. He loves Pepper to death and will do anything for her. So the fact that, and he kind of owes it to her, especially because he kind of put her in the situation, but that's a thing for another day. But, you know, he made up for it later on with, you know, not only getting that out of Pepper, but now we understand the reason why so early in the movie they flash back to why Tony decided to destroy the suits. You know, he made a promise to Pepper that, hey, I don't think the world needs a suit of armor anymore, and I don't think I need to be protected by it too. I should be the one in lead of this, and only me, sort of. I don't remember the message and how he put it, but I remember that Iron Man learned from this experience and said, I'm done with it. I'm done being Iron Man for a while. I'm not him. I'm going to get this shit surgically removed out of me so I can just be normal too. And I remember after that, he said, I'm better off, you know, just being me or something like that. And him and Pepper lived a happy life ever after, and that was the end of that flick. And I can't remember when I watched this one, because I don't think I wrote it down. Sadly, I did not write this one down, but I think I re-watched this a week before we started watching, like, Captain America, or a few weeks after. I can't remember the date, but here are my final thoughts, right, on this movie, Iron Man 3. I honestly thought Iron Man 3 was going to be a bad Marvel movie, because usually every single series of Marvel has its few bad apples. And obviously they did. You know, Captain Marvel was kind of eh. I know I hate on that movie a lot. I'm getting kind of more known and knowing more and more that I hate that fucking movie, and we get it. But, you know, like Captain Marvel was okay, or, you know, other movies were just okay. You know, whatever. Right? I thought this one was going to be bad Marvel movie to me and Nick. But we thought Iron Man 3 was a good movie. Better than Thor 2 Dark World. The reason I say, like, Iron Man 3, in my honest opinion, I know people are probably about to flip their lid at me when I say that Iron Man 3 was better than Thor 2, in my honest opinion, is mainly because Thor 2 Dark World, their fights with the Dark Elves were kind of boring, they were kind of lame, and the main villain didn't even feel all that cool. He was just an alien dude that just wanted revenge for his race. Like, I haven't seen that 1,000 times before this, you know? And the thing in those stories, they've done it better than what Thor 2 did, to be real. And I felt like the heated people of Iron Man 3 felt more menacing as villains, even though they're just humans that if they get angry enough, they'll explode. They felt more menacing than Dark Elves with supernatural abilities that would probably be too much for Iron Man to even fucking handle, to be honest, if we're throwing Iron Man 3 Iron Man in a fight with those fucking Dark Elf things and shit. But I felt like Iron Man 3, in my opinion anyway, I don't know about Nick's opinion, but I felt like, for me, for sure, Iron Man 3 was a much better movie for me to watch than Thor 2. Even though Thor 2 did have some moments that made me get teary-eyed, like Thor and Loki arguing with each other and fighting with each other, you know, because they're pissed that their mom passed away and it was a whole thing. That shit fucked with me. that shit was pretty emotional. And I'm not gonna say like, you know, Dark World was the shittiest movie because that's Captain Marvel by a long shot, but still, I would still say like Iron Man 3 is a much better watch than Thor 2. Because I swear, Thor 2 really could have tried better to be a movie, but it just, bleh. But I would recommend Iron Man 3. Is it better than Iron Man 1 and 2 though? Debatable. Very debatable, because there's some things I don't like. Iron Man 3 kind of feels like, as a movie, it kind of feels like Iron Man, it feels like a mix of Iron Man 1, but also a mix of Iron Man 2 in between. Even though it's the third one, of course, it's supposed to be like a better, more improved Iron Man 2, because that's what a third movie tries to be, a better version of Iron Man 2, but I don't know, it feels like a mix of Iron Man 1 and 2 in good and bad ways. That's what Iron Man 3 feels like for me. Even though I didn't really hate the movie all that much, or really liked it all that much, it was still better. It was still a better movie experience for me overall. But anyways, I digress. That's my experience watching Iron Man 3. Let me know your guys' experience watching Iron Man 3. Do you guys think it was a good flick? Do you guys think it was a bad flick? Do you guys think this is worse than Iron Man 2? I would love to know everyone's opinions down below. And this is the last thing I'm probably going to be making today. Anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share with your friends. God bless you all. I hope you guys all have a great day, a fantastic day. And let me know what you guys think about the Switch 2 shit in my vlog and my Switch 2 video I made today. Just let me know all that shit in those videos. But also let me know what your guys' favorite Marvel movie down below in this comment section is. And maybe we can have a whole Marvel conversation about that. But until then, guys, take care. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.